Tribe, what's up? Welcome to another Sunday coffee talk. I got my coffee here and I got one donut. I don't know, I've had it for a couple of days, so we'll see what it tastes like. And we have Lucky and Money kind of being ornery this morning. I just fed him. We got Lon coming over. Lon's kind of the other dog, next door neighbor right there. If you can see him there, you can see Money and Lucky kind of playing down there. So I have three of them this morning. Lon's been coming over because it's kind of weird. He's kind of the next door. There's a lot of next door neighbor dogs, by the way, but he's the one that likes to come over and play with them. So I think he's pretty much a big puppy. So, but anyway, that's not what I want to talk about, but just what my morning is looking like. And let's get things rearranged here. It's a little bit messy in the morning, a little bit more chaotic in the mornings now, since we got two pups. Usually I got to get up and clean up a mess and make coffee. I went ahead and fed him a little bit. We got to take him to the vet today. So once we take him to the vet, I'm not too sure I'm going to film it or not. Last time we went, I filmed it. We'll see. I was going to film up with a coffee talk, but changed my mind and wanted to sit down and have a little chat. What's been going on? And remember, with Sunday coffee talks, the whole theme of a Sunday coffee talk is you can leave a super thanks spotlight. We have a super thanks spotlight going on where you can leave a super thanks and when you leave a super thanks, attach a question to it. And that's what's featured. That's what we basically talk about every Sunday. So remember, we always have that going on. Then what else is happening? Well, I kind of wanted to talk about today as we get going here. And by the way, I have to put a little disclaimer. Is I might have to get up once in a while and watch Lucky and Money. You know what I mean? Because I have the door open over there. Oh, there he is. There she is. Just to make sure we're a little bit, we're not super far from the road, but just have to watch them. And this is a one-take wonder, baby. I might take out some dead space here and there, but other than that, it's a one-take wonder. This isn't a super edited video, stuff like that. But anyway, what I really want to talk about is I've been going live, and I've been trying to go live every day. Now I miss a day here and there just because of life, but I've been going live, and we've been doing a book review on the book You Too by Price Pritchard, and we're almost done with the book. The book's okay. It's a good book to have in your personal development library and stuff like that. I've had this book for at least a decade, maybe longer. But we were on the chapter. There's only a few chapters left. The chapter was called Open Your Gifts. And we kind of had a fantastic live stream on that. Now, Price Pritchard, the whole confusing thing of U squared, you get the premise of the whole book where Price Pritchard is going with it, but it's not real. It's kind of broken down like chapters, but like a lot of the chapters are only one page. That's why I thought about doing a book review on it, because they're just simple chapters. But a lot of the chapter just ends abruptly. You know what I mean? Because it ends where you're like, well, you didn't really answer what we're talking about. You know what I mean? Then it kind of flows into the next chapter. But Open Your Gifts, Price Pritchard he went a different direction with it than I thought. It was more kind of like the chapter kind of more went like, paying attention to your gifts, taking action and moving forward. And the only way you can get quantum leaps in your life. Can you hear them down there? The little boogers. I have to talk over them now. They're like wrestling down there. See, but now they're going to stop when I put them on video. But anyway, about the chapter, it kind of just went in a different direction. It was more kind of like we all have gifts. Pay attention to them. You got many, many gifts. Lots of times they're neglected, but that's kind of where he stopped with it. And with me, when I saw that we're going to talk about in the live, we're going to talk about open your gifts. I was saying, oh, there's going to be a badass chapter, and so I had to add a lot of commentary to it to make it a badass chapter, to make it a badass discussion, because this is the questions I get throughout my life. Is when I lots of times I talk to a lot of people. You know what I mean? Is, well, Chad, I don't know what my gifts are. You know what I mean? When we talk about spiritual gifts, Chad, I don't know what my spiritual gifts are. Let me move this mic. It's bothering me. You know what I mean? So when we start talking about gifts and stuff like that, that's the main question I get is this, this chapter of this book didn't even flip and touch on it. So that's what the live stream was about. And let me check on them, and then we'll sit down and have a combo about this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Ing's dad's down there. Where is he? Money, Lucky. Why don't you come up here? Yeah, they're coming up. You can see them like running up through there. Come on. Why don't you stay up here? Why don't you stay up here while I do the Sunday coffee talk? That way I'm focused. I'll play with your bones. I know you got some bones, unless Lon stole your bone. Did Lon steal your bone, huh? I see one bone right there. Yeah. Oh, almost sat on him. Down. Here's a bone. Watch this. There's a bone right there. Okay, buddy. Okay. Ah. Woo. The stage where they have like razor teeth. Okay. Now let's get going here. I brought them in. I shut the door. That way I know where they're at. And it's easy for me to. Hey, Lucky. Nope. It's easy for me to watch over them. But anyway, where was I? About gifts. See, that was the main question I got. I would get from people. Is especially if you're more into religious and stuff like that. And on the religion side, they talk about spiritual gifts. Then just on the normal side, they talk about just gifts, things you're good at, things you're naturally good at. And people, it kind of seems like kind of funny because once we become an adult, we kind of get confused. We kind of go through this confusing stage, and this confusing stage can be years. Like we just don't know what we're good at anymore. We don't know what our gifts are. And then if we don't know what our gifts are, surely we don't know what our spiritual gifts are. So I kind of talked about this, and I answer this question like in the live stream. And I think kind of what kind of makes us confused is really kind of going back, like in my experience. I have a huge business experience in business consulting and stuff like that. So I started kind of learning this not so much in school, but like in business. And because when I started having huge mentors in my life, my mentors were millionaires, very, very successful. The first thing I caught with them was that, well, Chad, you need to focus on your strengths. Chad, you need to focus on what you're good at. Stop focusing on what you're not good at. Focus on what you're good at, and then delegate stuff that you're not good at. Okay? That's how you get very, very successful. And that is very true among the wealthy, the ultra successful. All of them, any of them. I don't even have one person I can name that says, focus on your weaknesses. It's almost like only broke people say, focus on your weaknesses. Focus on what you're not good at. I mean, you might not technically be broke, but you're in middle class. You're never going to cross over to wealthy focusing on your weaknesses. Okay. And I'm sure they're wrestling right behind me. They're wrestling it. See, they're doing a battle down there. Ow! No, don't do that. You bite my feet. But anyway, I might have to go sit someplace else because they're really ornery this morning. Trying to get out my thought, and you might have to go back to a live stream and watch it. But the live stream was pretty long; it was 1 hour. But anyway, isn't that kind of funny? We're always told to focus on your weaknesses, focus on what you're good at, and it really stems back to school. When we go through the school system, we go through like elementary, maybe not so much in elementary, but 100% when we merge over to middle school, that's where the shift starts happening. 100% in high school. I can remember when I was in high school, I was really, really good at math. Super good at math. I took all the math courses in high school and I never had to study. That's how easily it came to me. You know what I mean? And but I sucked at English at the time. You know what I mean? Like I never had to study for math, got A's. In English, it was like, dude, I was lucky to pass it. Maybe I'd get like B's and maybe a C if I was lucky. You know what I mean? But even in high school, what would all your teachers tell you? Well, Chad, you're really good with math and science, and you don't have to worry about that stuff. You got to focus all your energy on English. You get me on that. Basically, what they're saying is focus. Basically, focus on what you're not good at. Focus on what you hate. Focus on your weakness. Okay, ignore your strengths. You get me on that. This is basically what gets ingrained in us. And sometimes our parents do the same thing, you know what I mean? Because they see maybe the things that you're just naturally good at, you get good grades in, and things you're not, you get bad grades in. So what do your parents tell you to do? Well, focus over here with these bad grades, you know what I mean? Not focus on what you're good at because your parents are middle class, okay? All they can give you, listen to this. Now, I'm not trying to be mean. If your parents are poor, all they can give you is poor advice. If your parents are middle class, all they can give you is middle class advice. If they knew how to be wealthy, they would be wealthy. You know what I mean? I know that kind of sounds rough, okay, but it's true. You know what I mean? If someone's wealthy, well, they could probably give you wealthy advice. They could probably, they might not be able to teach you how to be wealthy, but there's going to be habits and stuff like that they're doing that only wealthy do. That's all I'm saying. But anyway. And I know this talk is all over the place. I'm sorry. Like the money, no. Money, no. She's chewing on a box over there. I can hear her. Money, I see you. A lot of times I'll come out here and do a video and they're just like sleeping by my feet. But today, Money, Lucky's over here. He's starting to get sleepy. Then Money's over there. She likes to sit underneath the... Let me take this, then we'll continue our talk. Hey, no. Oh, see this little ornery little booger right here? See this ornery little booger right here? Oh, see this ornery little booger right here? And this is... Oh, okay. She loves to give kisses. This is Lucky right here, the brown one. Once I come down, what they do is they go underneath this table, then they chew the boxes over there in the corner. I'll probably make them ornery again because I got down on the floor, but sometimes I'll get on the floor and I start playing with them. So now they see that's where I'm sitting, and that's where they're fighting and playing by my feet because of the chairs right there. Then we got all the water right here. I had to buy new water. I told that story once before. So, where was I? Maybe I'll move the chair a little bit. Sorry, guys. Now, I really wanted, like, my whole goal with Sunday Coffee Talks to be more of a vlog style, but this right here is a vlog style, baby. Dealing with daily life at the same time, trying to have a serious conversation. But they were settling down, but I could hear her chewing over there, so I was just like, oh, she's chewing on that box. And we give them like little bones to chew on. They're starting to teeth, so they like Money, the tan one. She's kind of more of an ornery, kind of like bullheaded, don't listen very well type of one. Like Lucky, the brown one, the male, he tends to be more cool, laid back. He listens way better. But Money's the one that gets into some trouble. So let's see if we can continue on here and start talking about our gifts and why we don't know, especially as adults. And that's what I was trying to explain, is that the reason why we're confused, we don't know, is because we technically have been taught, to get to the point here, we technically has been taught to focus on our weaknesses, to focus on things we're not good at. Our entire life, and lots of times our entire youth. You know what I mean? Maybe it starts in elementary school, but 100% once school gets a little bit harder, you shift over to middle school. That's where things start to shift, and then things start to shift at home too. And even if lots of times you can remember thinking back, or even if you're watching this and you have kids, 100% what I'm saying is true when we talk about kids. Like, isn't it amazing when you have kids? Dude, they don't like, when they're young, you know what I mean? They don't like to do anything they don't like to do. Okay? They only want to do things that they like and enjoy. You understand that. That's just that, to me, when you see a kid, growing up, but once they kind of get old enough a little bit, maybe it's around 3, 4, when they get a little bit old enough to kind of, they start playing with toys and stuff like that. They can start like throwing little temper tantrums, and we kind of start indirectly teaching them to, well, you got to do things. You got to do things what you don't like to do. Then when they get older, that transition into having a job you hate. Well, job's a job, especially if you're from a small town, like a factory town. I was from a small town, factory town. So I heard this all the time where, well, Chad, a job's a job. A job means you don't like it. Okay. So you get me on that. So that's kind of the mentality we grew up with, is you don't enjoy what you do. It's just a job. And I know a lot of pastors and churches that teach us philosophy, especially in small towns again, and they try to back it up with verses. Okay. Is, a job is job. You know what I mean? I hold this camera, but they're shaking it. They're doing some Royal Rumble down there by my feet. You understand. And I don't want to hit this so hard, because I feel like I've been talking like 19 minutes and I haven't really even got to the core of our conversation yet. But I just want to paint that picture so you really realize, you really sit down and think, well, yeah, I kind of get what you're saying now. And that's what causes confusion. That's why we don't know what we're good at, because we focus for so many years on stuff we don't like. So we kind of lose sight of things that we're good at. So kind of, not long story short, but kind of how to solve it, if you're in that kind of funk phase, is start doing things you enjoy. And in the beginning, you might have to be extreme with it a little bit. Hey, Lucky, no. Lucky, sorry about that. They must know I'm getting to a good point in the video. No. Now I'm going to spank you guys. No. I give them bones and they're over there chewing the box. See, here's one bone. Okay. Sure, I know they have another bone, but Lon was in here. The other, like the black dog, he might have snuck their other bone, really. So, unless it went, where are you? Okay, okay. Let's see if we can continue on. They're being naughty today. I'm still going to post this video. Okay, day in the life of Chad, watching the pups. This is what I should like name the video. Okay, you ornery. Ornery too. But anyway, that's why as an adult, we're kind of confused. We go through that funk phase. I don't know. I don't know what I'm good at. I don't know what I like. I don't know what my gifts are. I don't know what my spiritual gifts are. It's because all we do and all we've been taught to is focus on what we're not good at. So in order to change it, what I was trying to get to before Lucky interrupted us is that you kind of have to start being extreme, because you're extreme on this side. You understand, you've been extreme on this side probably for years, meaning that you're constantly focusing on things you don't like, you don't enjoy, things you have to do, and you have a job you hate, so you're doing extreme on this side. Sometimes you have to go extreme on this side for a little bit, okay, until it kind of matches in the middle. You kind of live extreme, then you have to go to the other extreme, then you kind of shift it down to the middle. And I get it. I know some of you out there are going to be thinking, well, Chad, you're an adult. You have to, this is the whole debate, the whole thing you get. Well, you have to do things you don't like. They try to kind of cover up like why you're focusing on your weaknesses, what you're not good at, is because because as an adult, you got responsibility. And I understand that. Okay, I'm an adult. Okay, there's always going to be things that I have to do that I particularly don't like, but I got to do them. Okay. But it might be like an 80-20. You understand? And I'm just kind of making that number up in my head. Like 80% of the time, you are, I'm so sorry, guys. Let me put this down. They know I'm coming. They know I'm coming in there to spank them. Hey, no. Money. Get out of there. No. Get. No. I'll have to deal with that later. Like they kind of crawled back there, they pushed a box, and that's why I can hear them. They're scooting a box over there. Like I'm gonna get off on a tangent here really fast. If you're still around, and we picked up these two little boogers. Look, we picked up these two little boogers on the street when they were about maybe 4.5, 5 weeks tops. Okay, they were on a litter of puppies, and they had them up by 8. No, and had them up on close to the street, and we figured most of them are going to pretty much, lack of a better word, get killed. You know what I mean? They're too young, and that's kind of how it is in Thailand. So we took one, brought it back to the house. He was a little bit sad, and then we thought, well, maybe we're both kind of busy, so maybe we'll go back. We took the male first, and maybe we'll go back and bring another one. Either bring another brother or sister. That way they kind of, at least there's 2 of them here. So that's what we did. But today you're seeing the ornery side of them. You're seeing they don't listen to the Chad side. And they just go from one thing to the next. Sometimes they're usually not this bad. It's just like, they must be thinking Chad is filming, so we're just going to keep on bugging him to death. So, but anyway, let's try to get this wrapped up, get my thought out. And I was hoping they would lay down and take a little nap, but they're not. But anyway, I don't mean to repeat myself, but where did I leave off? That's why Aang's kind of waking up. So she's coming in here to the ordinary mess that we have. So she'll kind of help out. Now there'll be, ordinary with her a little bit. Then, so you can see money run back there in the background. But anyway, where was I going? What was I talking about here? I was talking about our gifts. I mean, that's kind of why, to kind of sum this baby up, that's kind of why you kind of have to be extreme, you know what I mean, in the beginning. Okay, now I know kind of what I was talking about here is that you, kind of the debate is, well, Chad, you know, as an adult, you got to do things you don't like. I mean, that's always kind of the defense of focusing on your weaknesses, because, well, you got to do things you don't like. You got to do things you don't like. I mean, again, you're kind of defending you being middle class. You're defending you being in poverty. That's technically what you're doing. I know that sounds mean, but you know what I mean? That's technically what you're doing. You're just defending it. Because like literally all the wealth people I know, I personally know, okay? Not people I follow online. You don't know those guys. You don't know those guys. Okay, you never personally met them. You don't personally hang out. You're not a personal friend of theirs. Okay. So none of them, not even one, focuses on the weaknesses. You know what I mean? And once you get up to make money, 100%, all they do is delegate what they don't like to do. Like if you don't like to go grocery shopping, and you have somebody do it for you. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like even nowadays, I know like my mom and my sister, they both do this. Like they put in an online order. That way they don't have to go into the store. And then when they go and pick it up, but when they go pick it up, all they do have to call, they bring out all their groceries and put it in the car and they drive away. You know what I mean? Unless they're in the mood to walk around and shop. And now I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm just kind of proving my point. But how we have to kind of go through it is that you got to start focusing on what you like and enjoy, what you're good at. Because a lot of times we don't know. The main question is, I don't know what I'm good at. I don't know what my spiritual gifts are. But how you figure them out is you start doing things you like and enjoy and start saying no to things that you don't want to do. That's what I'm saying. Like you have to be extreme with this a little bit. Is maybe you can't go to your work and quit your job right now, but you can start looking for a new job that fits your qualifications, that fits what, not even your qualifications, I mean, it aligns with what you want to do, what you're good at. And listen to this, what you want to do, what you're good at, most of the time you're more passionate about, that you want to do, and it's more fun. It makes your job more fun because you want to do it. Okay, you like doing, you actually like doing, and you know what I mean? And that's going to align better than going to a job you hate. Okay. Now outside of work, where you can mainly control it in the beginning is you stop doing things that you don't want to do. Bottom line. And of course, with that, there's a little disclaimer: is there's going to be things that we have to do because there's responsibility. You do them, and you move on and focus on what you want to do. That's basically how you do it. Or if you can delegate, maybe you have a significant other. You know what I mean? And when you have a significant other, you guys probably have different skills, different skill sets that you like to do, not like to do. And you know what I mean? Maybe your significant other loves to shop, loves to go to shop, but you don't. Okay, so maybe they do that part while you don't have to do it. You understand? So you can kind of delegate a little bit in there, kind of work as a team more in there, where where basically what you're trying to do, guys, is that when you're focusing on 100% what you want to do, what you love, what you're passionate about, you're working at a higher state. You're being that most successful version of you. Okay, that it all links. You understand, it all links together because your most successful version of you. If you look at it this way, your most successful version of you is going to be doing only things that they like and enjoy. You get me on that? That's mainly what's going to be happening. If you really think about it, if you really think about the most successful version of you, what would they be doing? Most of the time, your mind is just going to automatically think in what you really love and passionate about and enjoy. And the more you kind of stay in that area, the more you start figuring out what your gifts are, because your gifts are going to be more aligned with your natural abilities and what you like and enjoy. I feel like I'm talking in a circle here because my mind's all over. And I might, maybe in this video, I didn't even explain it as good as well as I did on the live, because we had some money and lucky running around like crazy. But that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. But but the conversation didn't get. Maybe you got something out of it. But if you have questions, you can comment below, and I'll help you out as much as I can. But or I can emphasize on it, go a little bit deeper on the topic. But that's how you do it. You slowly start doing things. You slowly start going back to your hobbies, things you like to do. Because isn't it amazing a little bit, like when you go back to, when you think, and some of us drift off like this as an adult, we slowly stop doing our hobbies. We slowly stop doing things we enjoy. We're pretty much just going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home. We get in this little funk. Then this little funk phase, we start doing personal development. Then maybe you run across a chapter, what we're going through today, about your gifts, and you start scratching your head like, what are my gifts? Like, what? I don't even, because you spent so many years just doing the status quo, just doing what you got to do. You were told to focus on your weaknesses, focus on what you're not good at. Job is just a job. You know what I mean? And you fast forward time, you're in a confused state. But how you get out of that confused state is start focusing on what you want to do, what you like and enjoy. Maybe you haven't hung out with your buds for a long time, so it's like, okay, you're gonna pick a weekend, have a barbecue, invite all your buds over. Start slowly doing that stuff, because that will lead you into, put you in that state, that you're doing things you love and enjoy. It will take you to other things you love and enjoy. Do you understand? It sounds like it kind of sounds weird, but you're not going to figure out what you love and enjoy by focusing on your weaknesses. When you focus on your weaknesses, all that tells you is like, I hate doing that. I don't like doing this. You know what I mean? I'd rather be doing this over here. Okay. And another thing, as we sum up this video, is when you focus on the weaknesses, is all you get is kind of okay with it. You don't get exceptional with it. You understand? Okay. You might be on your weaknesses, you might be bad, and you just come up to okay, but you're not exceptional with it. Okay. But a strength, if you focus on your strengths, a strength is you become exceptional with it. And that's why wealthy, ultra successful tell you to focus on your strengths, because you become exceptional with it. Okay, that's what leads you to your promised land, is focusing on your strengths, not focusing on your weaknesses, what you don't like, what you're not good at. And we're all told the oxymoron statement of, well, you got to focus on what you're not good at. I mean, you get me on that? And you just hear it all over the place. People just regurgitate the same statement all over the place. In school, in college, at work, you know what I mean? Until, if you're lucky enough to to be mentored by somebody, or if you're lucky enough to have a wealthy friend in your group, you might start noticing they're not focusing on the weaknesses. You know what I mean? And now in the first round, you could easily say, well, the reason why he don't focus on his weakness, Chad, is because he has money to delegate. I mean, dude, stop coming up with all these excuses. You know what I mean? You can do it right now. You know what I mean? You can start right now, start focusing on what you want to do, what you like to do, and you focus very little on what you don't like to do. Okay? Right now, you're probably it's a flip-flop. You probably like focus 80% on what you don't want to do and 20% what you do. Or even sometimes that 20% is less. Okay? You got to flip-flop it. You understand? Basically the whole point is, like I said again, is you want to stay in that optimal state. You want to stay in that most successful version of you. Because you stay in that optimal state is going to take you to your dream life. It's going to take you to live life on your terms, whatever you want to do. That's what you have to understand, my friends. But anyway, tribe, I try my best at this coffee talk, but we had some major distraction this morning, and that's really the whole purpose of the coffee talk. The coffee talk is more of a vlog style, and you know, I mean, wherever environment I'm at, what is ever going on, that's what's happening. And so I know this conversation was all over the place because I was interrupted, but you know, that's the name of the game. You know, I haven't had a coffee talk like this for a while, where it's all over the place. And then my mind's all over the place because I'm kind of trying to explain, my mind's over here like, what are the puppies doing? Or like I can see me as I'm recording because I got the camera flipped, but then I can see Aang's dad in the background. I can see Aang mopping the floor, and sometimes that's distracting to me. You know what I mean? Sometimes it just makes my brain shut off because like once I see it, I'm like, I totally forget about what I'm talking about. That's why lots of times when I do videos, I got to be in a very controlled atmosphere. So that way I'm like super focused and stuff like that. I'm not like all over like this. I mean, this video, if I edited this video, it would take a little bit of a while. But hey, mister, what are you doing? What are you doing? You come in here. What are you doing? See, now they're getting tired as I'm going to wrap up this video. Now they're finally laying down to take a nap. After the entire video, they're wrestling by my feet, chewing stuff and all that jazz. But anyway, tribe, I'm gonna have to let you guys go. We're probably gonna shortly start getting ready here. The vet opens at 9 a.m. So we're gonna try to be there early. That way we kind of get that done out of the way and all that stuff. So of course they don't know they're going yet. So this is their second time going. So get the second round of shots, and maybe do like a flea. They got like a flea and tick pill there. Maybe do that and keep the kind of the fleas and ticks away and stuff like that. But that's it, tribe. Always remember, if you made it this far, we always have the Super Thanks Spotlight. That's where you leave your Super Thanks down below, and you leave a question, something you want to dig deeper in, and that's what we discuss on every Sunday. But other than that, tribe, peace be with you, okay? And remember, I love you guys, and I'll see you next Sunday.